Welcome back, everybody, to the Smoking DJ. Thank you for tuning in. Today is Father's Day 2020. We're going to go ahead and smoke some tri-tip. I got about a 3-pounder here. Got a lot of fat on the back. And so we are going to trim that off. I got my trusty dusty bony knife here. Show you guys just a little bit. I've shown you guys in the past how to go ahead and clear up some of the fat. But we'll get started. Today we are going to be using just regular olive oil, and then we have Suckle Busters, SPG, just your standard salt, pepper, garlic. Very simple today, nothing fancy. And if you don't have something like this, it's very simple to make, just even parts of salt, pepper, and then a little bit of the garlic powder. So great taste. We're going to try to get the temperature up to about 145 or so, let it rest. Today I'm going to let it rest for about 2 hours. So that'll make it just real soft and tender. It'll be delicious. So let's start off here with the super sharp. Be careful. So this side isn't that bad, but we'll go to the other side. Oh yeah, check that out. A whole lot of, look at this. This is all fat right here. So you don't want none of that. So start cutting that out. You get a good bony knife. I mean, you could get something online. You could go through Amazon. Restaurant as well has bony knives, so restaurant.com. Real good, cheap bony knives. It'll just cut through. I mean, you guys can see it cuts through the butter. Get rid of this silver skin right here. You don't want that on your meat there. And just follow the position of the fat. I mean, you guys can see it already. That's a whole lot of fat that I've cut out right now. There you go. See, and I've had this meat sitting out for 20 minutes or so, and so it's still kind of cold, which makes it a lot easier to cut because the fat is still semi-cold, and so it'll just go through and cut off quite easily instead of having it at room temperature. Once you have it at room temperature, it moves around a lot more, and obviously makes it a lot harder for you to cut. And it's okay if you guys get into the meat a little bit, but you want to get down to the meat. Right, so lost a little bit there, but it is what it is. We want to get down to the meat, make sure we're able to get all the seasoning on the meat directly. There we go. While I'm doing this, happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are watching. Hopefully, guys, you and your families have a great day today. So, you guys can see, I mean, quick process. Once you get it down, once you practice a couple times, you'll be able to go ahead and clear it up real quick. So, I mean, check it out. I mean, so far, all this unwanted meat and fat is what we've cleared up. Okay. So now I'm just going to flip the sucker over. See what we got here on the side. Just a little bit. Alright. Yeah, the backside doesn't have much, but so you stick your knife in there, see where you start off with the meat, cut out a little bit. It's all right, and then just try to get down to the meat part of it. A couple more cuts here, and we're done. And then we'll start with the seasoning. There you go. That looks all right. Get rid of that. That's okay. Very good. All right. So there we go. It's kind of what you want. You want a nice piece. I could get down to the membrane, but it's not that thick anymore. So I'm okay with that. Some people like to go ahead and just cut everything out, which is fine. Feel free to do the way you like. I'm okay with that little membrane right there. It's not going to affect the seasoning or the flavor of the meat at all. So, you know what? Let me just check out this little chunk here on the end. Because what happens is the smoke will go through and render down some of the fat, the heat, but it won't do it all. So when this is done, I want to make sure that I get a bite of meat and not too much fat. Let me just get in here real quick. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with. Let me wash my hands real quick. All right, here we go. We got our meat, so we're gonna do some oil. Throw it on there like this. Flip it over. Okay. Rub that in. That's gonna act like a binder for our seasoning here. And so again, SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. Throw it on there freely. You want to make sure you get a nice little bark on here. Woo! That garlic and the pepper. Alright, get all of that. There we go. Look at that. Should give you a nice little bark. Just going to top it off one more time. The seasoning is really good. I've done a couple of the tri-tips in the past with this seasoning, and it is delicious. Don't forget the sides here. Get. Woo! Excuse me, the pepper. All right, so I'm gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes or so. While I, woo, there it is. While I go through and get the smoker going. And then we'll throw it on there. We'll plug it into the meat probes, and I'm gonna set the smoker at about 200, and that should get us up and running pretty good there with the heat. And then once we get to the 200 mark, let this sit for about an hour and 15 minutes. Check the temperature. Shouldn't take that long. It's a nice day outside, and I would say an hour and a half should be ready to go through and push it up to 225, just for it to get that nice heat inside. And then, like I mentioned, I want to get the internal temperature to about 145 or so. We'll wrap it up in foil and then let it sit for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So going out to the smoker right now. We're out here. We got the smoker at about 199, 200, which is where I wanted it. Been sitting for about 10 minutes or so. Look at that smoke coming up. Sounds good. And then we're gonna go through and put this on. Very good. And with my probes, I want one here in the fatty part and one back here in the thinner part. All right. So again, we're gonna go ahead and put that in there for about an hour and a half or so. I'm going to set a timer for the internal temperature. Like I mentioned, I want it at 145. And then we'll come check it out and see how much longer we got to cook. And it should be a great Father's Day lunch. See you soon. So it's been about an hour and a half or so. Internal temperature right now is at 141. So maybe about 10 more minutes or so, and then I'm going to put them out. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'll show you guys. Take advantage of this heat coming from the smoker. Want me some hot dogs and hot wings. As my brother-in-law, Rosman, would say, some pipa. So, because we're going to wait about 2 hours, like I mentioned, while the meat gets tender in the foil. So, oh, that's looking good. Got a couple hot wings in there as well. Some Far West beef hot wings. So we'll leave them in there for a little bit, and then I'll probably end up putting out the meat first, wrapping it up, and then enjoy the hot dogs and the hot wings while the meat gets nice and tender in the foil inside the cooler. So happy Father's Day. We'll be back in a bit. We're at about 147 right now. Gonna get my foil ready. Very good. And let's check this out real quick. See what we got going on here. Again, the hot dogs and the hot links have been in there for about 10-15 minutes or so. Oh, that meat looks delicious. Let's see how these links are going. Nice and soft. And the hot dog is looking good. Alright, let's plug these deals. Get these out of the way here. So good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna wrap it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's nice and soft. I mean, you guys can see the push there. But we want to get it nice and tender, get those juices back. So wrap it this way. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. You want to keep it nice and tight. So now I'm going to move these. Oh, wow. These dogs are going to be ready in about 5 minutes or so. We got some hot links, some dogs. Close this back up. There you go, nice and tight. And all you need is a regular ice chest. This is one of our portable ones. So grab this deal, put it inside, close it up. Try not to open it so that it stays nice and warm the entire time, and that'll help with the process of the tenderness and the meat actually getting soft and I mean just tender. So we'll be back in about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll unwrap it, slice it, and get it ready for afternoon lunch. Welcome back. It's been about 2 1/4 since I put the tri-tip away in the cooler. I have it here right next to me. So we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna slice it. Should be soft and tender. Pull this sucker out. I didn't open it at all. Didn't open it once. It's still warm. It's not hot. It's just warm. Oh yeah. The juices are. Oh yeah. Look at that. I know you guys can see those juices. Delicious. Let's get this sucker unwrapped. I'm trying to save that. I don't know if you guys have ever had a tri-tip salad, but use some of those juices and on the salad, and it is delicious. All right, let me show you guys what we're working with here today. Look at that deal. It looks fantastic. Let me grab a plate. The reason why is so that I could there you go, because all I want is the meat. There are those juices. It's gonna be great for the salad later. Let's put this out of the way here. Alright, so in my previous video I showed you guys how to go ahead and cut it. So again, the grain here it goes this way and then it actually turns. So what you want to do, you want to find like the 90, and you can still see some of the grain there, right? And then it starts going across. So you want to cut across the grain. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and go here. Oh man, I can smell the smoke. There we go. Let's see here, see what we got. All right, look at the end. There we go. Look at that. Look at that ring. Nice ring. Let's see. I mean, you can see some of the juice still in there. I mean, it's been sitting for 2 hours, so all the juice redistributed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut against the grain, right? So the grain is going this way. I'm going to go ahead and cut this way. So this smells so good. I think it's because I have this tray here. Let me do this. Lay down this kitchen towel. There we go. All right. Put it on the side over here. Okay. Yeah, that was it. And again, you can cut it to your own thickness. I'm not going to go that thick. Keep it about yay thick. And again, I mean, see, now that we're going in the middle, look at, you guys can see that right there. Oh, it's dripping on my hand. I mean, that's how juicy. I mean, you guys can see the drip there. So it's super juicy. I'm gonna eat that one. I'm gonna put that on the side. I'm gonna eat that little piece there. And I'll continue. I'll just continue slicing just a little bit more here. Oh yeah. All right. And so now, I mean, the other one I'm just going to cut the other way. So put this over here because that's next. But let's take a look here. If you get this back up. So again, this is the piece that I showed you guys. I mean, not a brisket, but you guys can see. I mean, it is super soft, and that's, you know, we cleared out most of the fat on here. So it's all just meat, the smoke, and letting the rest. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, I could pull it. Wow. Here we go. Let's do a real bite. I used a hickory pellet. You can taste the smokiness. That pepper. I'm telling you, you guys should pepper everything. You guys saw when I was pouring the pepper on, it got me, made me sneeze, but that pepper's delicious. Good for sandwiches. You could get a little French roll thing, cut it, put some barbecue sauce on there, put some cheese, whatever it is that you guys like to go ahead and prep up. I like it alone. I mean, I could throw some barbecue sauce on here, but the seasoning is just, again, it was just salt, pepper, garlic, and that SPG from Suckle Busters. So that's it. Real simple. Didn't take that long. I mean, it took me longer to let it rest for 2 hours than it did for it to cook. So got it up to about 148, 49. It's still, you guys can see, it's still very good. Some people like it a little bit more medium, more rare. It's each person's liking, right? You guys get it up to 135 and be happy with that if you want. My kiddos think that they see red, it's blood. So I go through and I cook it a little bit longer for them. But enjoy. Happy Father's Day 2020. And don't forget, tell your friends, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see. And maybe we'll go ahead and take care of that. But lastly, I spoke about Erasmo and those hot dogs. They were delicious. Las pipas. I want to say what's up to La Jefa, my niece, and to Oliver. Olivier, how you doing, young man? All right, take care, guys. Till next time.